Hey everybody, Jeremy here, Managing Director of the Human IT Company, Vancouver's best outsourced IT service and support provider. And today we're talking about lifespan, since a number of organizations are starting to go into the budgeting process. We've been getting a lot of questions lately, excuse me, around the average lifespan of a computer. Certainly, this is not a very complicated topic, but it is an important one since it affects money, planning, and honestly, a lot of different aspects to your operations. So, what is the average lifespan for a computer? It's probably not a surprise to anyone when I say that the easy answer is it depends. Generally, for budgeting purposes, we would allow that a laptop is going to have an average lifespan of 3 to 4 years. A desktop will typically last you 3.5 to 5 years. And of course, this is only a broad estimate. And there's a lot of factors that will change how long your equipment lasts. The frequency with which you move your desktop, how often you travel with your laptop. Even environmental conditions will all affect the lifespan of the equipment. That's before we even get into looking at the applications you use and whether or not your hardware meets the system requirements for those tools. But if you're trying to do some budgeting, these are good numbers to work with as a starting point. A server is typically going to last 5 to 7 years, or at least it will if it's been provisioned properly by your IT service provider. Server lifespans are so much longer because you want to try to amortize the higher cost over a longer period of time. Getting a server that lasts you 5 to 7 years takes a little bit of voodoo and gazing into the crystal ball, but it's not particularly difficult, and that gazing is important to do. Network equipment like switches, firewalls, or wireless gear are tricky. And you can again expect to have a 4 to 7 year lifespan. This type of equipment is usually upgraded based on performance requirements. For example, if you've got one of the newer fast internet connections that does more than 1 gigabit per second, but your firewall only supports 1 gigabit, then your firewall becomes the bottleneck. Why are you paying for faster internet if your network devices don't support those speeds? Performance issues like this are the most common reason that network equipment gets upgraded. But again, for budgeting purposes, these are good timeframes to work with. There are, of course, variations to all of this. Commercial businesses that are heavily reliant on technology are going to slide more to the shorter end of these lifespan estimates, and organizations like charities or nonprofits that are more cash constrained will slide to the longer end. Both of these are perfectly normal, of course. The trick is to simply plan for them when you're doing your budgeting so that you're not surprised in 2 or 3 years down the road. The number one challenge in doing this proper budgeting, knowing where you're starting from, having an effective and accurate inventory of your current equipment is critical in knowing which machines need to be upgraded first, and when. Once you have that inventory, it's easy to plan for a smooth and predictable refresh cycle that isn't going to crash your budget. If you'd like to know more about IT budgeting, IT planning, IT life cycles, or even if you want to know whether or not your network is doing what it's supposed to, send us a message at www.humanitcompany.ca. or leave us a message in the comments below, and we'll work with you to make sure that your plan meets with the reality of your expectations and your budget. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.